Welcome to the cult number 2. And today we're talking about battles without honor and humanity. I'm joined by Cody, like always, Trauma Nerd.
What up,
and,
YouTube?
And
no, we're talking Graveyards of Honor.
Graveyards of Honor. Did I say something different?
You said the battles without honor.
Oh, yeah, I did. Okay.
Because we were just talking about that before we started.
Yeah. Well, it's the same. It's one of the same directors, so we're kind of in the same wheelhouse, I guess. There.
Yeah.
But before we start, dude, what have you been up to? What have you been watching?
Okay, so I finished both of these, the Graveyards of Honor, and then I watched a bunch of the the supplemental materials, there was a behind the scenes for the Takeshi Miike one, and then there was interviews with the actors and stuff, interviews with Takeshi Miike. So I watched all that stuff, which was cool. And then I just got, because my buddies and I we're all big fans of the Paranormal Activity movies. Yeah. Well, I don't like the Spanish one, and I don't like the Ghost Dimension one. I'm not a fan of the last two, but I like all the first four.
Is the Ghost Dimension one the one where like they're in the house?
It's all 3D, and there's like every time you see the apparition, you put the 3D glasses on and stuff. Like,
okay,
I don't know, but so I only owned the first two, so I bought 3 and 4, and I watched 3 today before coming to record this, because I was like, man, I love these movies so much, and I haven't watched 3 in quite a while, so I was like, I'll give 3 a watch. But otherwise, I'm not kidding. I've been at work 9 hours a day for 14 days. I haven't watched anything, man. Like,
yeah,
it's like these two, the box set, the Graveyards of Honor, I had to, like, after work, I had to come home, watch one, then work the next day, come home, watch the next one, so I was prepared for this.
I've been also working, but I've made sure to I've been watching like average a movie a night, like I usually do. But this week, pretty much just caught up on Criterion stuff. I watched Martin Scorsese's World Cinema Project. There's a movie on here I do, because there's 6 movies. I don't want to talk about all of them. But there's a movie on here called Pixodia. I'm sure I'm pronouncing that wrong. It's from 1980. It's a film from Brazil, and it's the most depressing film I've ever seen in my entire life. There's like absolutely no hope at all in that film. It's bleak. It's I would compare it to like Come and See, but Come and See there's like a little bit of hope in that movie.
Right.
This movie, like, no happiness. Just like, I was like, it's really well done. But after I watched it, I was like, need to watch something happy.
Yeah.
Other than that, I watched Inferno of Torture again, a Taro Ishii film. The opening movie before the credits roll, the opening scene before the credits roll is like one of the most graphic things I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah?
I don't think I can like even talk about it on YouTube. Like, it's pretty, like, I was like, I forgot how bad this movie is. Like, it's a good movie, but it's fucked up. That's what I love Arrow, is that they put out some weird Japanese shit. Like,
I like originally Criterion was doing it, where they were putting out like really good Japanese stuff, and then they kind of stopped, and then Arrow took over, and now Arrow just like kills it with the obscure weird Japanese films.
Have you heard of Criterion's Eclipse line?
Yeah, I have a few of those.
So I got one, which is the Nikatsu Noir.
It's great. It's fantastic.
A Cult Is My Passport is a banger of a movie. Like,
yeah, anything Tezuka directs is like fantastic.
It's so good.
Like Arrow also has some of those Nikatsu Noirs that they release, like Branded.
Yeah, they had Diamond Night Guys Volume 1 and 2.
Yeah, I have the first Diamond Guys one, and then I have Branded to Kill, I believe. And I might have 1 or 2 more. And then Fab Press put out a book that's all about the Nikatsu Noir stuff. Fab Press is this really good UK publishing company, and they release like the Takeshi Miike book and the Dario Argento book and the Fulci book. They released the Cinema Sewer like zine in book form and stuff, and they also released this Nikatsu Noir book. So
I think I'm doing a video. I'm like jotting down ideas because now I'm transitioning into like Blu-ray videos instead of manga. Which, by the way, everyone in the chat, hello everyone. We got Nick,
Hi.
we got JT, we got Patience Short, we got Master Senpai. I almost said we had Gwen Stacy, but they're talking about Gwen Stacy. We got Ice in the chat as well. That shelf right behind me, right there, used to be nothing but manga.
Yeah, what the heck, man?
It's all gone. I'm keeping. I have like at the height of my manga collection, I had 2,500 books, and now I probably have less than 50. I would say someone bought a huge lot. I kept most of the hardcover stuff, so like Berserk, the Seven Seas hardcovers, Akira, Alita, stuff like that. But like all the singles are gone, and it's just because I don't know. I found like like even before I decided to sell manga, I was watching a lot more anime.
Right.
Just because I don't like, for me, it's less time consuming. You get like, if you get a Blu-ray, you can just put it in, watch a couple episodes, go to bed, watch a couple more episodes. With manga, especially series that I was collecting, it was like I have to wait months now before a volume comes out.
Yeah, you got to think the ones that we're caught up on, like Ultraman and stuff, it's like a year, 6 months to a year. So
that was kind of rough to part with. I was like, the Ultraman.
Dude, because that manga is good.
It's really good. So,
yeah.
I mean, maybe eventually down the road I'll repick stuff up. But right now, my collection is mostly Blu-rays now. I mean, I still have Japanese manga over here. But yeah, I fell in love with movies and collecting Blu-rays. And now I am a film snob now.
Cinephile.
I'm a cinephile. I watched most of the Al Adamson box set, so I know what real cinema is all about.
Wait, how many have you watched?
Probably 15, 20 maybe.
God, you're like,
honestly, dude, a lot of them just bleed together. If you pointed out a movie on the back of the box set, I could not tell you what it was
like
about.
me. That was like me with the Zatoichi box set. By the time I got to like 4, after that, if anyone was like, "Oh, what about this one?" I'm like, "Fuck, I don't know, man." Like the only one that stood out was Yojimbo versus Zatoichi because it's the only one that's like different, you know. Like,
and the first one's what? The first one's the only one in black and white.
And the first one slays, man. The first one is so good. I mean, there's good ones throughout, like littered throughout, but after watching 20 movies, I'm just like, they're all the same.
Link says, still can't believe. By the way, Link is awesome. We're friends on Facebook.
What up, Link?
He said, still can't believe that Flip made such a huge move like that, but I respect it. Yeah, dude. I mean, I'm still gonna be talking about manga, so like this channel is not really changing too much.
It's just adding stuff.
It's just adding more content. Like I'm still gonna eventually talk about Berserk. I have the hardcovers. I'm gonna be picking up the Blade the Immortal hardcovers. But instead of picking up like 5 to 6 volumes of manga a month, sometimes more, I'll be picking up like maybe one every couple months.
I do that like with Omnis. I'll buy like one a month usually, and then actually I'm buying more than that, but I try and limit to one. But I'll usually like I'll get like, you know, a couple of the Image hardcovers, and then an Omni, and then a couple floppy like trades, and then like a couple manga and stuff, just so that it's not like, because I see some guys' hauls where they're like 20 Omnis in 1 month, and I'm like, you're never gonna read all those, man. Like I try and read the books as I get them, so that I don't just have this giant to read pile, you know, like, because that's all it ends up. You just keep buying more books, and then you never get to reading them.
And then you get kind of like anxiety. You're like, oh, it's 16 volumes of Golden Kamuy I have to read.
Yeah.
And then you just get, well, like, and also I find movies in general, they can hold my attention more.
Oh, okay.
Like with a book, I'll read something, and then I'll like start looking at my phone if the book's not holding my interest.
Right.
And then, with a movie, I find myself just like zoning in to it. And also like anime just fucking rocks too. So
yeah.
Which Fire Force Part 2 shipped today.
Oh shit. And
so it's the box set. It's like
and I think One Punch Man season 2, the box set is coming out like tomorrow, I think.
Really? Already?
I think it's October 6th it comes out. So
my package for my stuff is going to be Fire Force, Be the Beginning, which I think you'll like quite a bit if you.
Sweet.
It's on Netflix, so just watch it on Netflix if you.
Okay.
It's like a supernatural cop show.
Oh, cool.
It's really rad. Be the Beginning, Fire Force, and there's one other thing. Oh, Zyrum 2. So that's finally coming in the mail. So
well, I'll have to get Fire Force Part 2 because I love Part 1. Like you put me on it,
it's
and
so
I
good,
binged.
dude.
Yeah, man, it was.
It's a very I don't know. I feel like people kind of crap on it, but
Oh
like,
my god, I hear nothing but people slagging on it. I think it's weird because I enjoyed the hell out of it.
and like all the things that you could like say about it negatively, like it's a stereotypical shonen, you can literally turn around and say that about My Hero Academia.
Oh my god, for sure. At first I didn't even like My Hero. I was like, this is just everything else I've ever read. Like, but then I started getting into it, and I was like, okay, this is actually really good. But it's like you could say that about any modern shonen. Like everybody loves Black Clover, and I'm like, Black Clover is just the exact same as all other shonen that came before it.
Black Clover's manga I really liked. But the anime, I cannot stand the anime, dude. It's too much.
But it's just that argument where it's like, oh, it's stereotypical shonen, and I'm like, give me a break. Like that's all shonen is like that. Like that's the appeal of it most of the time, you know?
Link says, dude, I understand the struggle of keeping up with more than one hobby, but I'm also a huge movie fanboy, so I'm here for you and all of your hobbies. Thank you, brother.
Oh, he also said Tromander. I don't know who
Tromander is, bro.
Pretty damn cool.
Cody is rad as fuck, dude.
Thanks, man.
Sick. Cody and I met Ice, you might know. Ice is in the Facebook groups that we're in.
Yeah, he also subscribed. I subscribed to my YouTube channel and commented on my last videos. So.
Ice is sick. Ice is a good dude. He says you got a Discotheque order today. I did. Discotheque's September releases finally came, which is weird because it's the first time this entire year that their releases came out past the due date. They're like usually 3 weeks early.
Oh shit!
So I think the replicator, like the people that make the actual Blu-rays, were like behind. But it's Wicked.
It could be the COVID and stuff like.
Yeah, it's probably COVID. But I got Wicked City, which I'm making Taylor watch tonight. I got the part 3 of Galaxy Express 3.9. Some Case Closed episode. I'm not a big Case Closed guy. And what was the other one? There's one more. I'm trying to think.
009.
No, I'm trying to think. What
Did you say that? I thought that was in your post. I'm probably totally wrong though.
I should just open up my. Cobra. Space Adventure Cobra.
Oh yeah,
the entire TV show. And Ice, by the way, I'm not gonna say anything, but I just gotta say, I heard through the grapevine some new Discotheque acquisitions
that I'm not allowed to hear about.
Yeah, I didn't even tell Cody off air. I was like, when they tell me, like when my friends who work there tell me, hey, we got this, I keep it hush. But I'm just gonna say, if you guys know me, I was hard throughout the entire day. I was like super excited. I was rock solid, dude. It was like a baby's arm coming through my face. I was ready to just fuck.
Oh, it's that Galaxy Express 999. That's what I
love that, dude. That show is so good. I'm excited.
Is that the same guy who did
Captain Harlock?
Yeah.
Yep, it's Leiji Matsumoto and Yamato.
Right, okay.
Well, he's that show is so cool. It's such a like comfort food show. It's like really relaxing and chill. But yeah, this has been a good month for Discotheque. And then the next month they're having new Getter Robo, Symphogear, Cleopatra.
Wait, what about new Getter Robo? That's out next month?
That's out next month on Blu-ray. I have the DVD box set. It's literally right above. It's right here. But apparently it uses a new transfer. It's like actually HD.
Oh, so sick!
I'm excited for that. There's another slice of Get a Robo on the Discotheque release slate. I'm just pumped, dude. Discotheque. It sucks also because like even before I became friends with them, I was picking up every single release, and then now I know like all the shit coming out for the next couple of years, and it's just like I'm so excited, but at the same time I'm like, dang, I kind of want to be surprised, but I hate surprises. So I
like it better when you can kind of plan, like you know what's coming instead of getting hit and then you're like, oh shit, I gotta order all this stuff.
This is exactly the text. I'm not going to read the first text because it gives away what it is. But I said, please tell me. And then he said, you don't want it to be a surprise. And I said, I hate surprises.
Okay.
Like, I was like, give it to me now. But yeah, dude, it's really rad. I'm super pumped.
Sweet.
They continue to be the best company out there, man. I just watched Case Closed. And I'm not a big Case Closed guy, but I watched it tonight and thought it was pretty enjoyable. It was pretty all right. But I have literally I have most of my discotheque Blu-rays and DVDs right here, and then I'm going to turn that back shelf right there, the empty one, into nothing but discotheque titles now. So,
will you be able to fill it, you think?
I think so, dude. They have so much. I'm like looking at it. I have 2 rows already, full, and that doesn't include all the DVDs that are over there and all the other Blu-rays that are on this rickety shelf.
Right.
So,
I mean, that's like my Vinegar Syndrome, and now moving into my Severin, I'm gonna end up having 2 like cases that are just those 2 companies.
That's insane.
Yeah, I have 200 Vinegar Syndrome now, I think. So
how much have you watched of that?
195 of the 200.
That's a lot of Vinegar Syndrome, man.
Yeah,
that explains a lot about you, though.
I know. There's a few, maybe a couple I haven't, because there's a few of the adult titles I haven't watched. There's like those 5, they did 5 years, 5 films, 5 years, like sets where it was originally all released on DVD, and then they released them all in Blu-ray on one disc with like in like a set for their 5th anniversary. And there's 2 adult ones and 2 like horror exploitation ones. Some of the titles in those aren't like the best like films, so I've watched the ones that I want to watch on them, like Cry Wilderness, Vampire Hookers, Hot and Saucy Pizza Girls, like that kind of stuff I've watched.
Can I ask you a personal question? And I'm sure I've asked you on the phone. Have you ever like been watching one of their adult titles and been like, all right, time to crank it? And then
I mean, I was okay, so I was telling the guys I work with the other day too, because of the Vinegar Syndrome stuff and the porn and everything, and
yeah.
So they're like, do you watch the porn just to like crank down? And I'm like, no, I appreciate the porn because it's actually like old film. It's old cinema. So I watch it because it's like, there's like storylines and you see recurring actors and recurring directors and stuff. And a lot of the ones I like are comedies. So they're really funny, you know? So, I mean, you could crank down to them. They're pretty, like, a lot of those women back in the day were attractive, but, and the men too, I mean, but it's like, it's more, I don't know, I watch it more as like what it is. Like, it's a piece of history that's not really a thing anymore. Like, porn now is just for masturbation, whereas porn before was actually cinema, you know? Like,
I guess
this, and ICE says they have horror porn too, kind of. There's like a few, corruption is like, they have like roughies, like corruption and oh my god, I'm blanking on a couple of the titles. They have like the more roughy stuff, and I think there might be like Blue Ice, I believe, is a porn horror maybe, and tons of bush. Kevin is right. There's a lot of bush in those 70s and 80s pornos.
Hair pie for days.
And like some of them, you know, there's like, you'll see Ron Jeremy in a couple. Like, I don't like Ron Jeremy now because he's a piece of shit, but like, there's like John Holmes and all these guys, and then you see like Desiree Cousteau and like these people that are like, they were, you know, staples in the adult film industry back in the day, and these were more like films than just like masturbation tools, you know. So I watch them more. I mean, you can get down and dirty with them because they're still
like full on penetration and stuff.
Oh yeah, straight up like cum shots and everything. These are like, they're like hardcore films, but most of them, if not all of them, have like at least a story. Like, there's, you know, a beginning, middle, and an end. A lot of them are really compelling. Fleshpot on 42nd Street is a fantastic movie, and it has hardcore scenes in it. So it's like, some of these movies are like really good, man. Like, I'm like a big fan now. I've got like books based on it, like the Oral History of Porn and the two Oral History. Yeah. It's called The Oral History of the Other Hollywood. And then
that makes sense.
And then Robin, who does the Cinema Sewer, he released these 2 movie poster books that are just the adult movie posters, and then he does like little write-ups about them and stuff. So they're good, man. Like I watch them just because they're like it's a nice kind of time capsule, you know? Like you watch these films that were coming out 40 years ago and you're like, oh damn, like they don't make stuff like that anymore.
Isn't the storefront theater sets horror porn?
I don't know if they are the Mopono. What it's? I don't have them because they're DVD, and I don't really collect DVDs. They could be. But
I remember the first porn I ever watched was like I was like 11 or 12, and it was a Lord of the G String.
No,
Just a softcore stupid or Ghost in the Teeny Bikini.
I watched Debbie Does Dallas was the first one I ever saw.
That's
a film.
That's a weird movie because that's like in the pop culture lexicon.
So is
like,
Deep Throat. Deep Throat's in the pop culture too. That's a hardcore film. So
but why are those two like?
Because these came out in the time when they were considered film. They would play in cinemas. They were more a piece of art.
That's how Pee Wee got in trouble, right? He was in a cinema
but he was at a porno theater.
So why did he get in trouble cranking it then?
I think it's because people were like, "Oh, he's a celebrity cranking down in a theater."
Dude, most people just crank down in the theater like that back in the day.
Oh yeah,
I've never cranked it at a movie theater. So.
Oh yeah, and then Ice is right. Let My Puppets Come is a puppet porno comedy. Puppet porno comedy. It's weird, man. That's a weird movie.
Okay. One, my wife would be like,
"What is cranking?" Okay, I'm sorry. That's what I call it. It's just masturbation. It's like that's what I call cranking down. I got that from Workaholics. That's what they used to say at Workaholics. So
Daniel says now Flip just has to convince the wife that it's okay to collect a cinema porn.
Because that's the thing is I remember when I like how I'm learning so much more about the porn industry. Okay. So I was really like when I first started collecting Vinegar Syndrome, I was like you, Flip, where it was like
I thought you were about to say when I first started cranking.
No. When I first started collecting the Vinegar Syndrome porn, the Workaholics masturbation episode is funny. Okay.
Wow,
it was more the horror exploitation stuff like what you're doing, and Trauma really is what got me into Vinegar Syndrome because they were releasing Desiree Cousteau, Hot and Saucy Pizza Girls, Pretty Peaches. That's the girl. She's the best looking female actress in porn, in my opinion. So I want to see this chat forever. Like she is like the best ever. So
now, do you have a modern one?
Modern would probably be like I guess Nadia, like Heather, because I'm really good friends with her and I was in that movie with her, right? But Nadia White, she's great. Yeah, I know you like Nadia White too. So she's a babe. She's like so much. And Jessie Lee, I love Jessie Lee. She's one of the Burning Angel girls.
What's that? Is that like
Burning Angel's like a porn? Yeah, it's like Joanna Angel. They're all these like alternative girls full of tattoos and stuff like that.
So like Abigail Peaks, maybe?
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
And Jessie's really nice because she like interacts with her fans on Instagram and stuff like that and everything. She's what's this? What are you?
Brittany
White at the moment?
Yeah.
Dude, New York back in those porno day theaters. Oh yeah, Times Square. That was the thing, man. Times Square was all porn. It was like
Times Square was all porn theaters.
Porn and horror. It was like a theater. Every like building had a cinema with a marquee, and you'd see either porn or like the new horror exploitation films. So
I'm not going to be talking about no porn stars. Not
okay, but I'm still going on. So I want to say this. So when I first started collecting Vinegar Syndrome, it was all the horror stuff. It was the trauma stuff. The reason I got into it was because of trauma. And there's like sugar cookies and graduation day and all that stuff. So I was like, Vinegar Syndrome. I'm going to collect these like really cool old trauma films on Blu-ray. And it wasn't until recently that I started getting the porn titles because they were releasing them with slip covers. And so I was like, okay, I'll get them and just so I can have them with the slip cover. And then I started watching them. I was like, damn, these are good movies. They're not just like cool releases. They're actually like really good films. So
it's like weird now because like porn stars are just like in the pop culture name. Like everyone knows who Mia Khalifa is.
Yeah.
And then there's
But
like,
that's because there's controversy behind that.
and then there's like Skylar Vox, Gabby Carter.
I mean, if you're an influencer,
There's a girl with the last name Trump.
Oh, really?
Something Trump, and it's funny.
If you're an influencer, it doesn't matter if you're a sex worker or
Autumn
not.
Falls.
Like, people know who you are. If you have a high enough following on social media, people know who you are.
Well,
so,
I listen to like a lot of like hip hop podcasts. Like I listen to this podcast called No Jumper, and he interviews porn stars all the time.
Oh my God, Link! I was not in a porn. I was in a trauma movie with a porn actress. Nadia White,
Johnny Sins, dude. Johnny Sins is like a
Johnny Sins, yeah.
Dude, it's so weird.
I see memes with Johnny Sins, man. It's so weird.
It's so weird that you're seeing TikToks of kids in high school playing the Pornhub jingle. Yeah. And the whole audience just being like, "Oh shit!" Like Taylor got mad at me because I was like, and she's like, "What's so funny?" I'm like, "That jingle," and she's like, "What is it?" And I was like, because my wife is like a very pure soul. She's very sweet.
Don't watch Hot and Saucy Pizza Girls or Pretty Pizzas
dude. Hot and Saucy Pizza Girls is literally just me. It's just me naked at my restaurant, pouring sauce on my titties and just like rubbing it in, and just I mean, like my nipples are like pepperonis already. So
I am not on. Oh my God. I am not on Twitter, Link, but you can subscribe to my YouTube channel.
You should have a Twitter, bro.
I should have a Twitter.
I didn't have Twitter until like a year ago, and it's honestly my favorite social media. The only reason why I have Facebook.
Flip, you got to make an OnlyFans. There we go.
Dude, me having OnlyFans? Dude, nobody wants to see this. It's a weird body. It's a weird body, dude.
With your pepperoni nipples.
It's like super weird because like my arms and like my back and traps are like jacked, and then I'm just fat as fuck everywhere else, and I'm bald up here. But then like, dude, when I started going bald, the hair started popping up. I have hair on my shoulders now.
That's like me, man. That's like me. I'm like balding up top, but everywhere else,
dude.
I could be in one of those 70 porns, man.
Dude, speaking about hair pies, it's like George of the Jungle down in my underwear, man. You can like.
What?
I mean, this is probably TMI, but I trimmed for the first time in my life, like maybe 2 months ago.
I mean, we're just putting it all out there on this episode.
Never again.
We're putting it all out on this episode. So.
I'm like, never again am I going to do that. Yeah, dude, no. Timmy says I've had the hairiest nipples. Okay, this is a true story, and I've told this story live on my channel before, and I called my mom before when I told this story, and she verified it. In 4th grade, my nipples swelled, like got so large. They looked like they were going to pop. My mom took me to the doctors, and it's because I had hit puberty in 4th grade. Literally, they go, yeah, your son's nipples are so big because he's hit puberty. So literally, the next year in 5th grade, I had this beard.
Yeah.
And I was this tall. I peaked in 5th grade. They thought I was going to be a fucking giant. I was literally, I was like 5'6", 5'7" in 5th grade and just towering over everybody. And I was thicker than a Snicker. And then I quit growing. It's just like, so the fucking WAP genes kicked in.
Right.
So, yeah. And my nipples swelled the same year that the World Trade Centers fell. So,
shit.
Yeah, so every time's like everyone's like, never forget. I'm like, yeah, I don't forget because my nipples hurt, dude. Never forget God. Flip Snips. Rest in peace. I don't know.
Wow.
Oh, Manscaped sponsor coming soon. I hope so.
Yeah, if they want to get up all on this like sponsor in our streams, I'll be like holding the shavers and stuff like that.
Manscaped, if you guys want to sponsor me, I'll make an OnlyFans just to shave my butthole live.
Oh
yeah,
people be paying you to watch it.
$15 to see my asshole, dude. Come on. I think that's fair.
Yeah,
$15.
Sure.
I think my butthole's worth $15.
I say if they could pay us to hold up things and then shave stuff on the channel, I'll be all over that, man.
Dude, I'll shave my No. You want to talk about movies?
Yeah, okay. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about this Graveyard box set.
So, dude, are Japanese men hairy?
No.
No.
Only I think the bush, and that's it. I think most of the time they're pretty like bald. So
Japanese porn always weirded me out growing up.
yeah, it's all because they have really strict laws over there.
No, it's not that. It's the like crying that I don't like. I don't like that.
Okay.
I'm not really into that, dude. It's always been a turnoff.
It's just they have because they're. You have to think about like the way we see things. It's differently over there. Like their moral ground is different than ours. So we see things like very taboo, and to them it's not. You know, like.
Can I tell a quick side story?
Sure.
Growing up, we had this friend named Josh, and whose sister was older than him, and she was attractive. So we'd always say, "Josh, your sister's hot," or we'd go, "Josh wants to fuck his sister," and he would get upset. He'd be like, "Guys, I don't want to fuck my sister." For years, we were making fun of him about this, and then for whatever reason, we were talking about porn, and we go, "Josh, what do you watch? Like, what kind of porn?" He goes, "Whatever's on the front page of Pornhub." So we go to the front page of Pornhub, and it's nothing but incest porn, and we're just like, "I know you do want to fuck your sister, Josh." But now let's talk about Graveyards of Honor.
Okay.
There's sex in here, but it's not like
no. There's no consensual sex in this. These two movies.
Hey, the second movie, the whole relationship was very Stockholm Syndrome-y.
But the first one too. The first one really got me thinking. Like I was like, why is she with him? Like she bails him out of jail. I'm like, why would she do that? This is her assaulter. Like, why would she have a relationship with this? But I think
is that some kind of like cultural thing? Like
I don't know what it is. It was so weird, man. Like, and the other thing that's really weird is I expect the rape in Takeshi Miike's films because there's a lot of it, especially in his Yakuza films. But the rape in the first like original, the Kinji Fukasaku Graveyards, like it's so weird. I guess it's because
visceral.
It's based. Yeah, it's so visceral and it's so like, unexpected.
All of his movies are very. Someone commented on my review of the box set saying that it was his directing style is very challenging.
Yeah,
and it's like there's parts of that movie that feels like a documentary.
Well, there are. There's the beginning is supposed to emulate a documentary.
There's real like real footage sliced in with the film.
He does that with even the Battles box set. Yep. They always start with like the news footage and stuff, so it makes it look like it's actually happening or it did actually happen. You know, like. But this one, because Graveyards is based off a true story, then was turned into a novel, and now these two are based off the novel. The rape kind of makes sense because it probably did take place, and then she became kind of enamored by him.
And for those of you who say, why are we saying stuff like this? It's because this is based on a real human being.
Yes.
Who was a real piece of shit. And
real Yakuza with no redeeming qualities, was just like, he was like this mad dog that went out and just like wrecked shit. When he died, it said like 30 years of wreaking havoc or raising hell, 30 years of raising hell when he died. Like,
well, he killed so like this is in the movie, but in real life, he killed an opposing Yakuza boss and went to jail. And then he got out, and I don't know if it was like his time in jail messed him up or like what. He just seems super paranoid. And both movies depict that. Like he just goes on a rampage. And like,
so the thing about these two movies that I enjoy is they're not so much, it's not really like Takeshi Miike's isn't really a remake.
Not at all. No.
They hit similar beats, but they are so different from each other that you could watch them as separate movies and you could just be like, oh, I see the similarities, but because it's not a remake. They are very different movies.
And I found Fukasaku's direction a little bit more cohesive. And but I think Miike's lead, the guy, his name's Goro. Fucking stole the show in that movie, dude. He is so like, if he raped me, I would be enamored with him too. I'd be like, whoa.
I mean, the thing with Miike too is this is one of his more like coherent, linear story, like films. You have to think when this movie came out, this was in the peak of Miike, like Itchy the Killer audition, Itchy the Killer audition, Dead or Alive. Like he was doing the most outrageous Visitor Q style movies. And then he did this, and it's very linear, very straightforward. And it's such a departure from what he was making back then. Now, if you watch this compared to the films he's making now, it fits right in. It fits completely in with First Love. 100% does. But to put it in with Visitor Q and Audition, it doesn't fit. It's so weird.
There's no Miike-ness until the end.
There is throughout, because there's a lot of hyper violence.
Well, and by the way, a little side note: the opening, the guy who walks in and shoots the bosses,
that's Takeshi Miike.
Yeah. He played, but that guy, dude, Goro, like the way he handled that situation, real calmly, just washing dishes, and just goes over and wrecks him.
There's also a few other cameos. So one of the chiefs in Miike's version was also one of the chiefs in Fukasaku's version. So he plays like two characters. And then the chief of police, the inspector that arrests the main character when he's shooting the guns off the roof, that's the dad in Toxic Avenger Part 2. That's Toxie's dad in Part 2. And then the politician in Fukasaku's version, who's running for, they're like, the Yakuza are like backing him because they want him to like win the election. He was a real life Yakuza.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So they got a real life ex-Yakuza to play a politician in this Yakuza movie. So
I find my extended family was the Sicilian Mafia. Largest organized crime trial in U.S. history was done against my family. And I've always found organized crime super fascinating, but the Japanese side is like just like they have like even today, like the Sicilian Mafia is kind of like dissipated because people don't adhere to a set of rules and a set of standards. But it seems like the Yakuza have like because there are things at stake, like missing.
Also, because of the honor that Japanese people have to, they all abide by like a certain code of honor. And so Yakuza are like, even though they're criminals, they're like high standing people in society a lot of times,
Like I know during one of the hurricanes, they like were getting helicopters out there and rescuing people and like actually doing, but they're also, I mean, they probably traffic women and do some terrible stuff as well. So,
so wait, Tibby, I got a date. Tromanerm, I'm a throw you a sub. Thanks.
Hey, all Tibby. Right. Tibby's also got a really good channel too. So
sweet.
Yep.
Well, I appreciate all these new subs from doing these streams, man. It's great.
This is fun. But what'd you think of the first movie overall?
Okay, so I am a massive Kinji Fukasaku fan. Massively huge. This, after Battle Royale, might be my favorite movie of his.
Yeah.
It is like mind-blowing how good that movie is. It's so compelling. The characters are so incredible. Everything, like the Battles box set is good, but it kind of just felt to me like run-of-the-mill Yakuza films. Like, there's a few other Yakuza films that were coming out around that time that feel sort of just like run-of-the-mill stuff. This really stood out for me. Fukasaku's version like really stood out. This is like, I'm talking top tier Fukasaku for me personally, because I think Battle Royale is just like an achievement in cinema. This as well, watching it, I was like, oh my god, this is Fukasaku just like firing on all cylinders.
And Battle Royale was his last movie.
I think so, yeah, because he died just shortly after.
Which is sad because if you look at like his entire body of work, we got stuff like, did he do Cops versus Thugs?
Yeah, and Green Slime and. What's that one, Message from Space he did, I believe it's called? The weird sci-fi one with Toshiro Mifune, and like, man, he did some crazy fucking weird movies. But he also like really like the early Takeshi Miike, he really made a name for himself with the Yakuza films, like the cops versus gangster kind of films like that. And then the main actor from Kinji Fukasaku's version is the same guy that did the Outlaw VIP films.
Which are also, that's a great set of movies.
Yeah, those are great, man. Like, if you
shit,
want to watch,
he did direct Message from Space, which
kind
of ties it back. They did a television show version of that movie.
Yes,
and
that's coming
out
out
by Discotheque. It's already out.
Yeah,
it's one of my favorite Blu-rays from last year.
And he co-directed Toro. Okay. Oh yeah, I think I knew that. Right. That's the thing is like he has this massive filmography, and a lot of it is like weird stuff. Like you'll look at it and be like, what? Like this American Japanese sci-fi film Green Slime. You're like, but when you watch it, it feels like a Toho film. Like it totally feels like an Ishihiro Honda film, you know, like even though it's totally American and like there's not a lot of, if any, Japanese actors in it. It's mostly like American actors and stuff, but it's a great movie and his movies are so good. And when I say run of the mill, don't get me wrong. Battles is, those movies are fantastic. But when he has such a diverse and massively huge filmography, they kind of just like, they're mediocre for me in his filmography. If you compare them to other Yakuza films, they like are leagues above, obviously. But I feel like Graveyards for him, for like out of his filmography, it's easily one of his best.
I would have to agree with you, but like looking at his filmography here, he just did a fucking massive Yakuza run.
Oh yeah,
he did Outlaw Killers, and then he did the Battles movies, and then he did New Battles, and then Graveyards of Honor, Cop versus Thugs. So like,
and I'm pretty sure Graveyards was done in between a couple of the Battles films. I think he took a break from doing Battles to do Graveyard.
Graveyard, and also this entire release came out of nowhere.
I know.
Like, Arrow. This is what cemented my love for Arrow, was this box set, because they had announced, you know, the Tsukamoto films. They usually announce stuff. This was announced. No, it seemed like no hype in the comments. I feel like I feel like there's two different like Arrow fans bitch about every fucking announcement slate. They're like, nah, that's not what I want. And then Criterion fans, no matter what they announce, they're like, oh yeah, it's the greatest fucking piece of cinema ever. I'm so excited to see it. But this movie, I think it's going to be in like a year or two. It's going to be very sought after, this box set, because they already announced. And I think it's not because it's selling well. I think it's just because of low print runs. Diabolical DVD said they're almost gone.
I ordered it right away on Unobstructed View because I was afraid. I saw it selling out everywhere, and I was afraid I was going to miss my chance. So,
and they usually put out numbers, like they're like, hey, there's only 3,000 of this or 2,000 of this.
Yeah,
I don't believe there is any numbers.
I don't see a number on here.
But the essay book, like even the artwork, artwork is incredible.
Good, like nice. I mean, it's Arrow. Usually with these box sets, they release a really nice booklet. But this really reminds me of the Zatoichi, you know, book with the art, like the Art Deco kind of.
Is it the same artist?
It looks like, honestly, I don't know, but it looks really similar.
Take out the cover for Me K's movie real quick, because that is, I like want to get that tattooed on me. I switched
mine to the Japanese.
Did you really?
Yeah. But I can open it if I can.
So yeah, that cover right there is amazing, incredible. Whoever did that artwork, I love it.
And this looks like the same artist they did the art on the book. So I'm wondering if they just got like a commissioned art, and maybe because it looks very similar to the stuff on the Zatoichi box set. So all the little like guys, like you can see all the guys here, the skeletons. I think these are guys falling, and then in the red balloons there's like skeletons.
I love it, dude. It's so the packaging is amazing. But yeah, like they announced it, seemed like no hype, but this is my release of the year so far. Like this
it's definitely up there. I'll get like, this is going to be a weird year for me to pick top releases because we had such amazing
Dude,
stuff come out
2020
this
has
year.
sucked except for releasing Blu-rays. Like it's
Yeah.
just been insane. Like
Yeah,
even
we're
stuff-
talking like,
like even that's on my list of favorites.
and we're like the Gamera set and this
Oh,
and the
yeah.
Tsukumoto box set and the Lenzi box set. There is so much stuff. Plus, there's the second Giallo box set that's coming out in November from Vinegar Syndrome and like the Dial Code Santa Claus in 4K and everything. There's a lot of stuff coming out this year that's just like insane. Like it's like top tier stuff. So this is going to be a rough year for me to have to like pick, top releases because it's like every month there's a new one that comes out. Like
the Bruce Lee box set from
Criterion is just incredible.
I'll tell you right now, one of my top releases I just got the other day, and this one's going to be hard to beat because I got the Cruel Jaws from Severin, Jaws 5.
Yeah.
And I got the novelization with it as well. And this comes with like the Snyder cut, so it has the Japanese extended version with like the extra gore and stuff like that. Like that's going to be tough to beat because Cruel Jaws is one of my favorite schlock like Italian ripoff films ever. So that one's going to be hard.
And they legally can't call it Jaws 5, right? That's why
the slipcovers were like edited out on the website and stuff because the slipcover has Jaws 5 right on it. So, and then there's also Scary Tales, which is coming out, and I'll tell you right now, that's going to be my top release of the year. And I don't think anything is going to top that for me.
I think Versus might take it for me.
And Versus too, yeah.
Dude, I'm so pumped to see Versus in HD.
So there's like this is the problem with 2020 is the year was like, but the releases are just like insane.
Incredible.
It's like one after another.
Putting out a Fu Manchu box set this month.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that. Like, even though those movies are questionable in 2020, but dude, like, yeah, Criterion's the Agnes Varda set, which is a French director. Didn't really know anything about. I blind bought it because I'm an idiot, and I loved it. So
yeah.
I mean, there's so many good things this year.
And Ice is right. Yeah, Bruno Mattei, crazy guy, crazy naming his movies off famous franchises. I mean, there's like
Italians do it the best.
Texas Chainsaw 3, which was Night Killer, and then he did Terminator 2, which was Shocking Dark. Like it's he's a good director, man. But his stuff it's like he's like a schlock master. Like he releases,
and we haven't even. Like I haven't even talked about the discotheque stuff this year, man. Like, like City Hunter. Looking at my releases, City Hunter, Honey and Clover. I really enjoyed, and then like the obscure mecha shit. Like I love God Mazinger, Psycho Armor Govarian. They're putting out Dan Kuga in HD at the end of November. So Galaxy Express. So this has just been a killer year for.
This year is like I still can't get over. Like just how many releases and the quality of them and like one after another, just pumping them out. Like Rad came out this year in 4K.
Yeah, right.
Like, it's crazy, man. Like there's
Flash
so
Gordon.
many good release. Yeah.
And then like all the Ultraman shit that's come out this year.
Oh my God. I just finished Ginga S Ultra Fight Victory. Like all that one set. I binged them all, man. I forgot to mention that what I've been watching.
It's great.
Ultraman Ginga, dude. Like Ultraman Ginga S still in my top 5 Ultraman series of all time. Like
I saw some rumbling on Twitter that they're going to put out one more steelbook this year.
Oh, I hope so.
Now, hey,
that would be who would that be? That's next would be Taro.
What? Who comes after Ace? Because they've been doing them chronological.
Taro is 6, so I'm thinking there's one more before Taro.
Oh, the Ultra Q, Neo Ultra Q came out this year too.
Dude, that was incredible! Oh my God,
this year, yeah,
that was incredible. I'm not kidding. I was like blown away by how good Neo Ultra Q was. Like, oh my God, man! Like modern
Gundam, like just
modern Subaraya stuff is like. I love it. I know there's some old schoolers. Some of my friends who are old schoolers, and they only like the old stuff. They like the Ultra 7 and
idiots.
Dude, what that modern stuff is insane, man. It is so good.
This has been a crazy year.
Yeah.
Hands down.
What is picking up the Fire in the Sky Blue? I want that so bad. That Fire in the Sky movie is amazing. Oh my God. Fire in the Sky is such a scary story. Like that movie
What is it?
It's that so the guy, it's this old movie from the 90s. It was that guy who gets abducted by aliens, and they like probe him and everything, then send him back, and he has this PTSD from being like abducted, and nobody believes him. They think he's just like crazy, and he's making it all up. Yeah. It's a good ass movie, man. Like so good. And I don't think it's ever had a release. So
also Possessor was this year, and that's one of my favorite movies.
I'm going on Thursday.
Dude, we should talk about that next week.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that'd be good topic for next week. Because I'm going Thursday, so
that's a great movie. I think it's one of the best movies this year.
Sweet.
Not like there's been that many new ones.
Not really. And everything's getting pushed, like Halloween got pushed, Dune got pushed,
Dune got pushed almost an entire fucking year.
But that's like Halloween, same thing. Halloween got pushed till next year, so.
No, but like Dune, it was like December was supposed to come out, and it's October.
Yeah.
That's wild. At that point, just release the fucking okay. Just release it on Blu-ray.
Yeah, just do day and date. They should just do all day and date stuff, and that if it's going to be that, just like what Paramount was doing with their stuff, just online streaming.
Trolls. They did Trolls.
Yeah.
We rented that for my daughter. I didn't watch Mulan,
but I heard Mulan did not perform as well as Disney had hoped. That's why all the next Disney movies that were supposed to come out all got pushed.
I mean, it's the same thing with Tenet too, because they that was like the test run. Like, hey, here's Tenet, and it did horrible.
But then, so because of that, Disney was like, "Oh, we'll release Mulan online on our streaming site, and we'll make a ton of money," and they didn't. So now Wonder Woman, the new Marvel movies, all that stuff is being pushed because they saw how little Mulan made, and they're like, "Oh, the streaming, the day and date stuff, yeah, Godzilla vs. Kong." Okay, I'm gonna do my little tangent, little side thing. Danielle, is it Danielle or Daniel? Daniel. It's Daniel. All right, Daniel P. Here's a little thing. Godzilla vs. Kong. So my brother lives in California, and I go to Quentin Tarantino's cinema as often as I can, the New Beverly in West Hollywood. And we were going to see The Shining in 35 millimeter, and I'm in line buying my tickets, and then I turn around, and Adam Wingard is right behind me, the director of Godzilla vs. Kong and You're Next, The Guest, VHS, like Adam Wingard right behind me. And I turned around and was like, "Oh my God." And he's like, "Oh, hey, man." And then when I was in the cinema, he came in and I got up and we were talking. We were just hanging out before the movie talking about like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and stuff like that, man. It was the coolest thing ever.
Was he cool as shit?
Oh, yeah. Like the coolest guy ever, man. So then as soon as they announced he was directing Kong vs. Godzilla, I was like, I'm all over that shit. I love this guy.
China, there was a toy fair in China, and they leaked that Mechagodzilla's in the movie.
No, that was leaked before. That toy fair leaked what he looked like. They had already announced that he was going to be in the movie, but nobody had seen until that toy fair came out, and then you saw actually what he. So
true, dude. Because I'm gonna shit myself.
It's Adam, man. He's going to be pulling out all the stops. This is going to be like the be-all, end-all Godzilla movie.
And then I'm just excited to see what Toho does next with.
Yeah. I mean, I hope Shin Ultraman comes out and does really well. And
apparently that's finished. That's finished. They just need
I hope that comes out, wins a bunch of Oscars, and then Toho's like, let's just do another Godzilla movie.
Or do another Toku's franchise. Like do Shin Kamen Rider, do even like something like do Shin Juspian. My favorite show of all time.
Or even like maybe we could get a new modern camera. Maybe Shoei or Toei will come out and wait, is it Toei that it's Toei that does Gamera, right?
No, it's not Toei.
No, who is it? It's Toei's the animation company. Isn't it? No, I'm all fucked up right now. I swear to God, who is it?
It's like it's a rival company of Toho, I think.
Yeah. It is
Toei does a bunch of
Daiei Films. Daiei does Gamera. Daiei should come and just do a new Gamera, man. Like I'd be all over.
They should do a Shin Zatoichi, and it's just cyberpunk Zatoichi.
I mean, I'd watch that shit, man. Like,
fuck out of that.
Because I loved Gamera the Brave. I thought Gamera the Brave was great. I really wanted that.
That like Heisei trilogy is incredible, especially.
And do you remember when that
suits are just like?
Oh yeah, it's so good. It's like top tier. So you were partially right. So the special effect director from the Heisei trilogy is the director of co-director of Shin Godzilla.
Yeah.
But he was the special effect director from the Heisei, because Shusuke Kaneko was the director of the Heisei series. But
he did a great job, because like before those movies, Gamera was kind of like a laughing stock.
Oh yeah, if you watch those old in the box set, they're kids movies. They're kids movies. And that's all they were.
They like made it like a super serious film with a storyline, and then the suit, like, because there's no CGI, it's all guys in rubber suits. It's all like toku, and the like shots, because like usually you have just a plane and there's two monsters fighting, like Godzilla's fighting, Mothra or whatever, and they're just fighting on a plane. But like in those films, there was like up shots to like show you the scale, and it feels like you're actually on the ground looking at this giant turtle. And it's
that's good. I mean, he really like changed the way you watch giant like kaiju films and tokusatsu, like, because Godzilla was kind of waning at the time. This was around the time that Destroya was hitting cinemas, and it wasn't doing a lot of money for Toho. And then Shusuke came out and did the Gamera trilogy, and these were like the most critically acclaimed tokusatsu films of all time. These were like massive hits. They were like hugely successful, and it changed the way people view tokusatsu. Even though the Heisei series for Godzilla changed Godzilla. Like Godzilla was, this kind of, he started out as like a horror movie, and then went on to like the kid's hero, and he was just fighting, monsters, like. And then the Heisei series really changed it back to like Godzilla was a force of nature. Godzilla was like not to be fucked with. But people were kind of, getting a little older on, or like worn out on Godzilla, and after how 7 films or whatever. And then Daiei came out with the new Gamera, and man, it just like changed the game.
This box set it puts the Criterion by Godzilla set to shame. This is like, look at that. It's a cereal box.
I mean, Daniel, you're right. The older ones, like, even though the Gamera films are kids movies, the old ones, they were pretty violent. Like, he would cut monsters' heads off and blood would come out and everything. They were a lot more violent than the Godzilla ones.
Yeah, but he's also on Gamera, Jungle Gym stuff and like swinging.
And it's always the kids like, yeah, Gamera. They're like cheering them on and stuff. They were very much geared towards little kids. But they're charming. They're very charming films, But the Heisei trilogy just came out and just like changed the whole game. So
it's incredible. But I think that's going to do it for tonight's episode.
Yeah, all right. Well, thanks for tuning in.
Next week we're going to do Possessor, because if you go on Thursday.
I'm going. We're going.
Okay,
it's a plan. We're going.
I really want to talk to you about that movie, because there's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to maybe talk about a film that's not so much just like the physical stuff, because that's usually where the way we're gearing. This will be good to talk about like a new film that's just out in 4K right now
in December.
Yeah, so that'll be cool to kind of talk about something that's like brand new,
So guys, thanks for watching, and make sure you subscribe to Trauma Nerd.
Yeah. And thanks to all the subs that I got. Yeah, we'll see you next week.
Ice, everyone in the chat, thank you guys.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys next week. Peace.